KUAM News headlines are presented by Calvo's Insurance, protecting Micronesia for 85 years. Matson and the Adai Itano program. Apply at matson.com and McDonald's of Guam. I'm loving it.
Ahead on KUAM News Primetime. An on-site tour of the Guam Memorial Hospital showed signs of improvement, but lawmakers say critical gaps in infrastructure, funding, and technology still leave the facility walking a fine line. I'm Nevaeh Anderson with the story coming up.
Drivers greeted with another overnight spike at the pump, marking the 7th surge amid the ongoing Iran conflict. I'm Mitsuki Hirayama with how consumers are already feeling the trickle-down effects.
A GW student speaks out about an ongoing issue plaguing the Manila campus, calling for greater accountability. More coming up tonight. Hafa and good evening. Welcome to KUAM News Primetime. I'm Destiny Cruz-Langus. Thanks for ending your day with us. Well, lawmakers took their oversight hearing inside Guam Memorial Hospital, getting a first-hand look at progress on repairs while uncovering deeper concerns about aging systems and long-term stability. Nevaeh Anderson reports. Monday's on-site oversight hearing of the Guam Memorial Hospital Authority started with a walk through the hospital, taking stock of completed and ongoing capital improvement projects, from freshly painted walls to new equipment.
What a difference several months makes in terms of what we saw here at the last time we were here for an oversight hearing.
And that progress is backed by numbers, 44 projects completed and more than 50 still underway. But the tour also highlighted areas still in need of repair. Basic operations like patient records are fragmented. GMH Interim CEO and Administrator Dr. Jolene Uggin says a new electronic health record system could cost $25 million, but right now there's no funding in place.
That if one goes down, you can't register patients, and if the other one goes down, you can't document on patients. You can't see prior notes. It's just awful.
And GMH Chief Engineer Zaldi Tugati warning the hospital is still relying on aging and outdated systems, like in their electrical distribution system.
These are already obsolete. Nobody carries this item, so we have to make do with what we can.
And while its full replacement is now in the works, the hearing revealed it could take up to 18 months to complete. Wrapping up the tour, lawmakers and hospital leadership turned to a recent oxygen supply shortage that highlighted just how fragile operations can be. In March, Guam's only oxygen supplier experienced a disruption. Associate Hospital Administrator of Operations, Jesse Kanga.
If we made no changes, we had enough oxygen supply to last us about 5 days. We did ask around and we inquired with our facility partners, namely GRMC and Naval Hospital, if they had any relief that they could provide, but they were in the situation similar to the hospital.
And without action, patient care could have been at risk.
We would have had 2 days of no oxygen, would have been detrimental to our patients.
Meantime, staff quickly reduced usage, stretching supply and avoiding a crisis. In the aftermath, the hospital is now pushing for its own on-site oxygen plant to create a backup and prevent a similar situation from happening again. Financially, GMHA is also trying to update how employees get paid, as much of the billing process is manual. By outsourcing and modernizing its revenue system, hospital leaders estimate they could bring in about $12 million more each year. GMHA is also receiving millions in support, including $40 million used mostly to pay down debt. However, another $20 million promised for operations has yet to be released from the Department of Administration and the Bureau of Budget Management and Research. GMH Chief Financial Officer Yuka Hechinova.
I'm not sure if they recognize that as a legal obligation, but we have not received any of that funding yet.
The GMHA warns that without that critical funding, the bills could start to pile up again. Still, there are bright spots. Hospital officials say their nurse-to-patient ratio meets national standards, and retention is strong with a 92.9% retention rate. While lawmakers were pleased to see real momentum, their takeaway is clear. Progress is in motion, but critical systems, from infrastructure to technology, are still playing catch-up. And until those gaps are closed, the hospital remains in a delicate balance between improvement and risk. Nevaeh Anderson, KUAM News.
Well, consumers on Guam are feeling the growing ripple effects of the Middle East conflict today as gas prices jumped again overnight, now marking the 7th spike in just over a month. Mitsuki Hirayama reports.
Another overnight spike greeting drivers at the pump on Tuesday, now the 7th surge in 6 weeks amid the ongoing Iran conflict. The cost of gas jumping another 20 cents and diesel inching its way closer to $10 per gallon with a 65-cent spike. This latest escalation comes amid growing threats. President Trump warned Iran to open the Strait of Hormuz by 10 a.m. Wednesday local time, or they'll be, quote, living in hell.
We have a plan, because of the power of our military, where every bridge in Iran will be decimated by 12 o'clock tomorrow night, where every power plant in Iran will be out of business, burning, exploding, and never to be used again.
As the strait remains closed, the major fuel disruption is already impacting Guam's economy. During KUAM's The Interview segment last week, Guam Visitors Bureau President and CEO Regine Biscoli says airlines are already reducing capacity and increasing fuel surcharges as the cost of jet fuel rises.
Smaller destinations like Guam are on kind of the short end of the stick. And so you'll see, maybe some low-cost carriers start to reduce their capacity, and that is a tremendous impact on our island where every single seat counts.
GVB is reprogramming $2 million in airline incentive funds to address this immediate crisis, but she says $7 million is needed to fully offset the impacts.
That's something that we're going to have to work with the members of the legislature and the administration on to figure out where we go from here.
Meanwhile, shipping surcharges from carriers like Matson and Triple J forwarders are expected to surge 29% later this month, driving up the cost of all imported goods. This, according to Senator Jesse Lujan, who urged the governor to declare a state of emergency on the fuel and cost of living crisis. As reported, the governor rejected the emergency declaration, saying fuel supply remains stable at this time. Matsuki Hirayama, KUAM News.
Now to education news. One student at the home of the Geckos is speaking out, calling for a real fix to the main access road to George Washington High School. The senior raising the concern over social media and in a short essay calling for greater accountability, not just for this issue, but for many others that often go unresolved. Here's more.
Quote, "This road is more than pavement. It represents what we are willing to accept." A student at George Washington High School speaking out in a short essay titled "The Culture of Blame," detailing the difficulties of advocating for the main access road to the Mingila School to be properly fixed. GW senior Genesis Babauta says requests for nearly 9 months have yielded no meaningful and permanent fix.
For 9 months, we've just been told over and over again that they're working on it, it's coming soon, things are happening. And yet, over and over again, it's just gravel being poured there, just a temporary fix so that, it's not as bad.
Babauta says the issue isn't just a minor inconvenience. It puts student safety in jeopardy, as the road remains uneven and floods when it rains. Babauta says the issue also paints a greater picture about accountability, as small problems of this nature often boil over into bigger issues.
If we can't fix the small problems that we have already, what more the big problems? What more our hospital? What more our economy? What more the political status of the island? This road is more than a road. It's not just about getting the road fixed. It's for the respect of the community, respect of the future students of Guam, respect for the school. When will it change? Who's going to be the one to be the mature person, the leader, the public servant, and help out, answer our cry for help?
Meantime, KUAM reached out to the Guam Department of Education for comment on the matter. GDOE Public Information Officer Damon Borja saying, quote, "Due to financial constraints, GDOE is unable to assist directly in the matter. But through the governor's office and DPW, a plan is being constructed to help pave the roads for GW." KUAM reached out to the office of the governor for comment.
And before we take a quick break, we continue our 4-part series, The Tax Facts, brought to you by the Tax Shelter. Find out if you qualify for tip deductions in tax years 2025 to 2028. Stay with us as we break down on everything taxes to close out with a stress-free tax season.
The Tax Facts is brought to you by the Tax Shelter for all your personal and business needs.
If you are an eligible worker who earns tips under the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, there's a new federal income tax deduction available for qualified cash tips for tax years 2025 through 2028. You can claim up to $25,000 on those tips, and this deduction applies whether you choose to itemize or take the standard deduction. It's important to note that while this is a federal income tax deduction, it does not eliminate FICA payroll taxes. Who is eligible? According to the IRS newsroom, this is for workers in occupations that customarily and regularly receive tips before 2025. What kind of tips count? Only voluntary cash or charged tips are qualified, and that includes money from tip pooling. Automatic gratuities generally do not qualify. What if you're self-employed? If you are self-employed, the deduction cannot exceed your net income from the trade or business where those tips were earned. Is there an income limit? Yes. While the deduction is capped at $25,000, it begins to phase out if your modified adjusted gross income or MAGI exceeds $150,000 for single filers or $300,000 for those married filing jointly. Keep in mind that this deduction applies to federal income tax, but state or local taxes on your tips may still apply.
The Tax Facts is brought to you by The Tax Shelter for all your personal and business needs.
Spring is here, and it's blooming with savings at Kmart Guam. Step into the season with fresh styles for the whole family. Tackle your spring to-do list with tools for every project. Get everything you need to be spring ready. Find it all this season at Kmart Guam.
Don't need to work break, keep the smile on your face. The moments you can't replace, and I'll be around. Whoa, you can count on me. You can count on me for life.
Wherever life takes you, we're always here for you. Calvo's Insurance. Count on us for life.
Anything's possible.
College is possible. Retirement is possible. Adventure is possible. And so is saving for it all with our Bank Ohana Savings Special. Earn an interest rate of 3.15% for the first 90 days when you deposit $25,000 from another bank into a Bank Ohana Bonus Rate Savings Plus account. Requires a Bank Ohana checking account with an opening deposit of $500. So make your savings goals possible.
Anything's possible.
Reach your possible with Bank of Hawaii.
Welcome back to Primetime. The National Weather Service Guam Weather Forecast Office is closely monitoring Invest Area 90W, a slowly organizing tropical disturbance south-southwest of Pohnpei. At this time, there is still significant uncertainty in its track. The system could move west-northwest, potentially passing east of Guam near or over the island or south of the Marianas. What we do know, conditions could begin to deteriorate over the weekend into early next week, bringing increasing showers, thunderstorms, and gusty winds across the region. Now is the time to prepare. Residents are urged to clear drains, secure loose outdoor items, and take precautions at construction sites. Campaign signs and temporary structures should also be secured or taken down ahead of possible strong winds. If heavy rain develops, use caution on the roads. Avoid driving or walking through floodwaters. And remember, turn around, don't drown. NBC's hospital comedy St. Denis Medical wraps up its second season tonight at 7 p.m. on NBC TV8. Several storylines are in play in the finale, including a romance between staff members.
2, 1, stick! Okay, wrong side. Got myself.
Ever since St. Denis Medical's first episode,
Might have met the girl of my dreams. Yeah.
the naive and often overwhelmed nurse Matt has been crushing on his co-worker Serena.
He's definitely getting fired. He's so bad.
What? But Matt has persevered,
That's awesome.
both professionally and personally.
I appreciate that. I worry about him sort of because it's like as I read every script, I'm like, man, like he's got an old man roommate.
Yeah.
He's the most naive guy in the world. I hope this dude gets a win.
The win came last week
You guys, Matt and Serena, you guys can be the pregnant couple.
when they had to pretend to be married.
There are some moments that are almost like a rom-com or almost like it feels like you're in a movie a little bit there, which was I thought like very sweet and like a real service to these characters. Yeah.
But the real service came in the episode's closing moments.
When we kiss, it'll be because we want to.
Right. In the big scene, the kiss scene, was so romantic. It was, when I was reading it, I was like, oh my God, it's like a K-drama.
It's true. It really, yes, it's purely sweet.
Tonight, fans will see the aftermath.
Everything okay?
Yeah. No, I've been in my head kind of pretty bad since the other day.
Oh?
Yeah, I just feel embarrassed about it. And
Okay.
the way that it came together, especially after like the slow burn over like 30 something episodes, like I really think that the timing was it was cool.
And timing is everything. Mark Barker, NBC Entertainment.
Now for a look at your world at home.
Here's a view from the shores of Guam Memorial Park.
Now it pays to spread the Better Together experience. With our brand new referral program, you can earn up to $150 in account credits for every referral you bring in. That's right, family, neighbors, friends, even your coworkers. Just pass them your account name and account number. When they sign up for Docomo Pacific service and drop your info, cha-ching! Credit applied. So spread the word and start stacking those savings. Additional conditions may apply. Docomo Pacific, we're better together.
Only Taco Bell has what it takes to put crispy chicken nuggets inside a Crunchwrap slider. Why? Because what it takes is a Crunchwrap slider, and we 100% invented those. Choose from creamy chipotle or jalapeno honey mustard. The new crispy chicken Crunchwrap slider, a brand new classic, only at Taco Bell.
Tonight's sports feature is brought to you by Cars Plus.
My mindset, the biggest thing for me is not overthinking any of my decisions. With my position, I have to do with my first thought. There's no going back. So I like to say, don't think, just do. We understood that they're the type of team with the caliber to come back, and we understand just how hard they work and how bad they wanted it. But we tried to stay locked in, and we just kept our backline tight. We stayed together. And although we did struggle in the first, we held it down just enough to hold them back, and we got the win in the end. So that's what matters. And throughout the season, we're going to keep on building. This isn't our peak yet, but we're building up slowly to our championship level.
We build on this, and I just want to say that the conditions, while not ideal today, I'm just super proud of the way the team adjusted to those conditions and executed well.
Everyone has goals. Saying yes helps you get there.
Retirement, huh?
Yes. When is it your turn?
I'm working on it.
And well-deserved.
Could I be a truck guy?
Oh yeah, we totally see truck guy.
Can we really do that right now?
Yeah, wild, right?
Can we start that college fund?
Yes. Because yes is so much more than the answer to a question. First Hawaiian Bank. It all starts with yes.
freedom, that's a Jeep thing. Freedom to ignore this, that's a Jeep thing. Sacrificing facial hair to nature and involuntary blood donations, Jeep things. No one signs up for an 800-pound bear chase, but if it happens, Jeep thing. VIP parking, exfoliating, treating gravity like a suggestion, saying it'll dry. Free-range parenting, forgetting if that's a moose or an elk, all Jeep things. Remembering without saying it, couldn't be more of a Jeep thing. Sweating your tail off, freezing your tail off, an American saving another American's tail. Jeep things. Making a Jeep vehicle for only people with cash like him? Not a Jeep thing. Or confusing capability with unaffordability? No, not a Jeep thing. Making adventure affordable? Now that's a Jeep thing. So we're bringing you more Jeep things this year, because Jeep things should be everyone's thing.
Giving Every Tuesday is brought to you by Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love.
A simple donation can make a powerful difference. This week on Giving Every Tuesday, a community call to help women in need with basic items many of us use every day. As Women's Month was in March, one local leader is urging the community to keep the spirit of support going. Senator Shelley Calvo is leading a women's donation drive, focused on providing essential hygiene items to disadvantaged women across Guam. The goal, to create dignity kits filled with everyday necessities like shampoo, conditioner, toothbrushes, toothpaste, deodorant, and feminine hygiene products. Items that may seem small, but for many women living in shelters can be hard to access. Senator Calvo says these basic supplies are not a luxury, but a necessity, supporting health, confidence, and overall well-being. Saying, quote, every donation, no matter how small, is a symbol of kindness that can help provide hope, strength, and dignity. Donations will be accepted through April 30th at the Guam Legislature, including the Congress Building and the office of Senator Calvo. All items collected will go directly to women in shelters and will be presented in honor of Mother's Day. Organizers say this is more than a drive. It's a chance for the community to come together and lift each other up. If you'd like to help, you can drop off donations now through the end of the month.
Giving Every Tuesday is brought to you by Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love. News Bites is brought to you by Docomo Pacific Better Together, Fresco Clothing, original custom design apparel of Guam and the Marianas.
Buenas and Hafa Guam. This is News Bites. I'm Jonagan Charfris. So let's get right to it. The Okadu High School Drama Club presents She Kills Monsters, a Young Adventures edition. Matinee shows are on April 11th and 18th, and afternoon shows are April 9th and 12th, and 16th and 19th. General admission is $10. And mark your calendars for Guam's Women's Chamber of Commerce's 13th Annual Golf Party Tournament on April 24th at the Country Club of the Pacific. Showgun start is at noon. Early bird pricing up until April 10th is $250. It's a two-person modified Callaway for men's, women's, and mixed division. Register now at guamwomen'schamber.com/events. And right now, over on the Guam scene, we are down to the championship of our March Madness snack bracket. Let your voice be heard. What is your top mom and pop local snack? Empanada or pickled papaya? Vote now. The Guam scene team will reveal their winner based on your votes tomorrow. And NBA stars go head-to-head on Coast to Coast, airing Wednesday on Guam. From Hornets versus Celtics to Rockets versus Suns. Two big matchups, one morning of non-stop basketball. Catch it all starting at 10 a.m. on KUAM and Peacock. And if you missed anything, you can head on over to KUAM News on Instagram or on our Facebook page. Thanks for watching.
It's that time of day, and what better way to end our day than with birthday shout-outs? Here we go. For Jermaine Maine Guerrero, Maga Paanin Nafanagu Tata, love your children, family, and friends. Happy 27th birthday, blessings, Kiki, love your familia. And that's for Nicole Justina Spano. Happy 8th birthday, blessings to Amelia and Zoe Pakaigui. Wishing you a day as awesome as you are. Double the fun, double the joy, double the birthday, but always make your own rainbow sunshine. We love you. Happy 14th birthday to my sweet and funny baby. Wishing you many blessings and health. Enjoy your day eating your favorite cake, chicken fingers, and fries. Love Mom, Dad, Mama, Chris, and Brianna. Happy birthday, Kaden. And from all of us here at KUAM, wishing you all many blessings, many love, and lots of cake. Have an amazing rest of your day.
Want to wish your special someone a happy birthday? Just click the QR code here on your screen or email birthdayclub@kuam.com.
And that's your primetime show. Thanks for watching. I'm Destiny Cruz-Lingus. Have a safe evening and stay beautiful.
Thanks for watching Health, Home, and Lifestyle right here on KUAM. Check us out anytime on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/KUAM News, for all of our episodes about how you can live a happy and healthy island life. Oh, hi. Hafa everybody. I'm Jason Salas, and I'm here in the library. Welcome to Health, Home, and Lifestyle, where we show you how to live a happy and healthy island life. This is a place where knowledge is stored, archived, and shared, and that's exactly what we do here on the show each and every Tuesday right here on KUAM. We got a great show for you this week, so enjoy. Here's what we have for you today. Hafa day and welcome to Tuesday, everybody. It is Health, Home, and Lifestyle, and this is House to Home, the segment of the weekly show where we bring you everything that's going on with our island's real estate community and how you can get the very best deal and make smart choices when it comes to really finding that property of your dreams. Liz is here. Gina is working on something right now, but we have a very good friend of ours in the KUM News Zoom room, all the way from Pentagon Federal Credit Union, and Frank Charfus, by the way, loan officer extraordinaire. I did not see you in the family. You guys are about the strongest soccer family I know, and over a Sunday over there at GFA and everything, they turned the lights on, but I miss you guys, man. I always see you guys over there.
Yeah, we unfortunately we weren't able to attend. Yes, we are definitely committed up there. Both our kids are always playing soccer, so we can't wait to play up there under the lights. It's been long awaited for sure.
Well, both you and the wife are doing amazing things with real estate and everything, and it really is a family operation. Even though Tanya more on the agent side and the realtor side, but you definitely on the financier side. So your input on today's topic is most appreciated, my friend.
Yeah, great. So yeah, Liz asked me to jump on with this assumption process or transaction type. So.
And when they say assumptions, you know how that phrase goes, right? But this is a different context about that.
For sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
So there are different intricacies with VA assumption loans, and I felt that Frank handles a lot of those, and I feel it's important to have a discussion as to the different things associated with VA assumptions. We're working on one right now, and I'm not a VA vet, but I'm definitely going through the process with Frank, and he's knowledgeable with it. And I think it'll help our community, since many of our island vets are here. And the interest rates are on the high side right now. And some of the VA loans have lower interest rates, which makes it doable for assumptions, but it's not as easy to get there. So Frank can explain what's associated with VA assumptions.
Excellent. Yeah. And Frank, as long as I've known you, I don't know this. Did you ever serve?
No, I fish.
Okay, there you go.
So just circling back to Liz's scenario, right? So an assumption mortgage transaction is you are taking over a seller's terms on the existing VA loan. All VA loans are assumable. So there is a document you sign at closing that talks about that, and you have to go through the lender's requirements, application process, and so forth to take over a veteran's home loan. You don't have to be an active duty veteran or be VA eligible to assume a VA loan. So as an example, let's say you're the seller, Jason, you have a VA home loan. I'm coming in, your house is listed with Liz, and you have 3% as a rate. So your sales price is $500,000 and your balance is $400,000. That gap is your down payment. A traditional VA purchase, there is zero required as a down payment. So in this scenario, since you're assuming the existing balance, That's spread between what the sales price is on the final purchase agreement minus what they owe is your down payment. And then you still have transactional costs or closing costs. I tell everybody, factor 4% of the sales price. That would be your closing costs. So you have your closing costs, you have that gap or that down payment, and then that's the total picture as to how much you'll need out of pocket. Well, what's really nice about this product is, or this type of way to acquire a property is, one, you don't need an appraisal. Two, it's a manual underwrite. So I'm not pushing your file like a traditional purchase through a computer and it gives me an outcome. It's a manual underwriting process. So we'll look at the ratios. If the ratios fit, your W-2s confirm your income, and these are your credit scores, and these are your obligations. And obviously you have to get home insurance prior to closing. We'll approve the loan. So I really like that aspect of that manual process because I've had a lot of files not go through because of maybe, C- credit scores, if you would.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now just for proper context and everything, when we say VA loans and everything like that, what actually qualifies as a vet? Is that anyone who has served in any branch of U.S. military service for any amount of time? Because I know some people like they'll get in and or if they're in the ROTC program, they do 5 years as per their first contract, and then some people are lifers, some people don't reenlist.
So that's a great question. So to be eligible for a VA home loan or a purchase, if you're just buying a house with your certificate of eligibility, you have to have been active duty for at least 6 months or deployed for 90 days. So as an example, the National Guard guys, if they're deployed for 90 days and it's non-educational type of deployment, you're eligible for a VA home loan. So how I vet that is before I pull your credit report, I'm going to go to our lender portal on the VA platform, and all I need is your social security number and your birthday year, and the system will generate a disposition or an outcome. It's either going to give me the certificate or it's going to ask me for some other documentation. So I do that on every loan before I pull credit, just to make sure you're capable of getting the loan. Active duty, for active members, it usually pops up, but for the National Guard guys, if they haven't had that certificate generated, it's a good practice to see if you're eligible because sometimes I've got to go another step and ask for other documentation to get that certificate.
And that's really good because I know and some people have asked Liz and I this over the years, Frank, is they'll say like, okay, did you have to be active duty full time, or could you be reserve? Could you be in the Guard? Could you be like a civilian employee of a military unit, like attached to that unit and everything like that? So they want to say when you are, veteran, what exactly constitutes that? So we appreciate the context.
Yeah. So
yeah, the other thing I want to point out is that you can. A vet can buy how many homes? One home. And then if they sold it, they can buy another one. But we have cases where they've already bought one home and they'd like to buy a second one. Isn't that subject to their entitlement? I know there's different things that are required.
Yeah, so every state and every county will have a VA loan limit. If you've never had a VA loan, you're not subject to any limit. We as a lender have a limit. So our largest loan we could lend on your first transaction is zero down payment would be $3 million. If you own a property today, and let's use Guam as an example, our loan limit out here is about 1.2 million roughly. So if you bought a house 10 years ago and you paid 600,000, you could buy another house without paying off that other house and come in at zero down at 600,000. So anytime you have an entitlement out there that hasn't been paid off, or a VA home loan that hasn't been paid off, you're going to be subject to the county loan limits and what the entitlement was charged on your certificate. So if I were to get that certificate today, it will show that you acquired a property 10 years ago and this is what you paid for it and this is the entitlement charge. So I have a quick calculator that will tell me like what area you can buy into and what the down payment scenario would be. I get
And
those
that-
questions every day out here because you have active duty that own property here. They become landlords, and let's say they're PCSing out to Norfolk, Virginia. And so we go out there, the limits out there are roughly, I think it's about 740,000. So there's a calculation we have to do to factor what their proposed price is at zero down. Anything above that will be a down payment requirement. But you can have more than 2 or 3 loans out there on your certificate still outstanding. It only affects you on your down payment situation if those loans aren't paid off.
So this is not like, obviously this is not like the civilian first time home buyers program where like if you're a young couple, you get assistance from the feds to, like get that home of your dreams. This is in recognition of your service. So you can have multiple loans outstanding, as you just said, Frank.
Correct. So it's an entitlement that you have. So it's just because you've used it already. Some people call me up and say, Frank, I've already used it. I can't do a VA loan. You always have that eligibility.
And Liz,
So
we were
for
just
Guam-
talking. We were just talking about this
Yeah.
last week, Liz, where we said like there are military people on Guam that they know they're going to be temporary duty here. They may come back, in the future and make this their home. But some people like they buy as an investment property, and then when they get their next duty station, they flip it, which is awesome, And but there are these conveniences available to them.
But it's great that, Frank, you're saying Guam is 1 million?
So the limit out here is like 1.2 million. So if you have an existing loan out there, that limit's going to affect your down payment scenario.
Good luck going after our fans. We have a hundreds meal at McDonald's.
You mean the Saja Boys breakfast meal?
Ours has Ramyun McShaker fries.
Ours has hash browns.
Hash browns. Zoe! It's a battle for the fans.
We love you!
What?
Now at McDonald's, pick a meal
To pick a side. Don't fight. Kiss.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Let's go to Grandma's.
Oh man.
The only thing slower than her internet is her stories.
Yeah, last time my video loaded, I aged 1 year. Is that? No way. Woo! Awesome.
Grandma, your internet slaps.
Sign up for GTA Fiber today and get grandkid approved internet for as low as $75 a month.
Hey, let's go.
Oh man.
So the release of liability, there's a release of liability signed at closing. So if you default on the loan, it doesn't hurt his credit report, right? We're going to show that loan being paid off on his credit report. So the release of liability is removed from the seller. His entitlement, if that loan is defaulted, because if it's not, it only zeroes out once the loan's paid off. So if there's a default on the loan, that entitlement will never go away. So it can affect your capacity to buy at zero down in your next location.
So that can follow you in that case.
It affects the calculation on the loan amount. So
Yeah, okay.
I've seen that certificate before where it says foreclosure, and I'm like, oh man, looks like we're not going to be able to do a deal. But all that does is it affects that calculation I have to do for the house you're trying to buy.
Hey Frank, here's a hypothetical for you, right? We know every so often that you'll see married couples like in the military. Is it possible, or have married couples tried to say, obviously we are each other's, like a our financial accounts are conjoined, we're life partners and everything like that. Can they combine those two if they were to apply for a loan, or is it only relative to the individual and their service to the country?
In regards to the entitlement, or
Yeah, like if they're married, could they kind of like combine it and say, oh, I get 1.2 million for Guam, now I got 2.4 because it's me and my wife going in at the same time.
Yeah, so it's individually. So if I have 2 active duty vets buying a house out here, I'm going to use I can use either certificate to tag that house to their certificate.
Okay. How would you typically do that? Is it the one with the least debt, or the higher ranking of the two, or the one with more years of service, or at that point or is it at the discretion of the lending institution?
For me, I kind of control that process, because if you never use your entitlement, the VA funding fee, which is a charge that can be financed, it's like 2.15%. So on a subsequent use, it's 3.3%. So as an example, if you had a loan outstanding, that VA fee is gonna be 3.3. But if your partner or the other person on the application, their certificate was zeroed out, or there never been a VA loan, that fee is 2.15. So I would just put the entitlement charge on the person with no use yet, or their first time.
Okay.
It saves them like 1.5% as a fee.
So, Frank, what is the window of time since everything is manual? It's a simple process. Well, not a simple process, but appraisal is not required, which is great. What's the window of time to close that transaction?
You know, if the buyer is, because the process is all electronic and online, right? So there's no paperwork on my side. Everything's kind of dropped on that loan application electronically. So I'm not going to ask you for any paperwork. But if they're organized and they know how to do that, you're probably looking like a 30-day process. Title turn time is about 2 weeks. So let's say insurance turn time is about a week. Underwriting about a week. So I'd say about 30 days in and out. Every file is different. Some files, they're self-employed. They've got to give me 2 years of tax returns. But if it's just a traditional W-2 buyer, it's just your W-2s and pay stubs and bank statements. That's it.
Frank, how much more paperwork are the VA loans, like as opposed to like maybe their civilian comparable loans and everything like that, given the fact that, like, I mean, they're federal employees?
It's the same docs on your end that you've got to provide. W-2, pay stubs, two bank statements. So it's the same checklist. There isn't more paperwork. It's just, they might have, VA has more disclosures, if you would, but everything's paperless on our side. You're not touching any paper. So you go to a link, you'll view all the docs, electronically sign it, comes back to me saying you've signed it with an intent to proceed. And that's when we do our stuff, a lock or rate, or the appraisal out or title out. So on our side of things, it's very paperless. We get frowned on when I have paper on my desk, so we try to.
So it's perfect. It's perfect even if you have an off-island buyer or someone who's traveling. It makes it simple because everything's online.
It's too easy to do a home loan nowadays.
I like the sound of that.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, and seeing as how you're a Pentagon Federal Credit Union, Frank, and you guys have branches all over, do you see locally, is the volume of traffic you're getting from, like, say, local kids who then enlist and then are serving, or is it servicemen and women coming from other parts of the world and they know this is going to be like their duty station, and like who do you see that transactions that you process more?
I'd say it's about a 50-50 mix between, the National Guard out here or the reserves and active duty.
Yeah, Liz, how many of these like showings, or how many clients actually walk in to your office and say, I'm a vet, I've got an X number of years of service, and my family's like looking for a house, either because we want to make this place our permanent residence, or we see it as a very lucrative investment opportunity, or we're just shopping around?
Actually, over the years, we've seen an increase in VA buyers because they're relocating here and they've got their housing allowance, and they might as well turn that into equity by the time they leave their duty station. And so I think over the number of years, we've seen much more in terms of VA buyers, with our office at least. And now it's like the assumable loan types are what we're starting to experience. People are looking for assumable loans with low interest rates, because some people's loans were like 2 and 3 at one time, right? Right, Frank? And I think the one that we have now, the one I'm working on, at least it's a 5.3, still lower probably in comparison to some of the other loan types that are out there. So I like the fact that no appraisal is required for the assumable. I like the fact that it's a shorter time frame. And for Frank, paperless. That's great. And it sounds like it's less of a headache in terms of the loan process, which we appreciate. Anyway, whenever we get this type thing, we dump it on the loan officer. They do their magic to make things happen. And we truly appreciate the loan officers who handle. And we always talk about the loan officers stay in their lane doing loan processing. The realtor stays in their lane doing the real estate aspect of the business. And then the escrow does their job. And we all work together to make it happen.
Mm. What are some of the biggest misconceptions, Frank, with these types of VA loans like that you see? Because I know I just did a story with some really leading island youth here who are organizing a mental health conference. I mean, I know it's not exactly apples to apples, but they said the message we want to get across is it's not that Guam has a shortage of mental health resources. We just want to make sure that our peers are aware of how many resources they have so that they can use them. What are some of the maybe the things that maybe vets don't know about, or affordances to them that they don't take advantage of?
Yeah, I think the ones that pop up a lot is that they've used their VA benefit to acquire a property already, and so they think that they can't use it anymore, or they bought a house when they were active duty, now they're out of service and they can't use it after that. Debt ratios, we have one ratio. I don't really tell everybody this, but our cap is 65%. So your gross, your total debt load, house payment, credit cards, auto loans cannot exceed 65%. We won't close a loan greater than that. So that's one thing that I tout all the time, because a lot of lenders don't go up that high. We also gross up any non-taxable income like housing allowance, utility allowance, VA disability income. So if I need to gross it up, I can, and that factor is like 25%. So if you're getting $4,000 housing allowance, I can gross it up another $1,000. So in essence, you're making $1,000 more on paper.
Well, this is great because at least with this show, we're getting the word out to all the vets out there here on Guam that they can get a loan up to $1.2 million. If they've bought a home before using a VA loan, they still have an opportunity to buy another home, provided, of course, their income source and their credit scores are in alignment as part of the requirement. Again, it's great news for our vets here on Guam.
1.2 million is a really nice house. That's one of those Tassi 17 condos, right, guys?
Yes.
Yeah.
Great view too, and in lieu, and to anyone who may have served, and as Frank just broke down, with his expertise, if you are active duty, National Guard, Reserve, the world's a crazy time right now, but we thank each and every one of you from your service. That's from the heart, from all of us as civilians and everything. We appreciate you guys and we love you guys.
Yeah. So
Frank, thank you for your.
Hey, thanks for having me. And if any listeners or watchers out there need me or want to reach out to me, all my credentials are on GuamVALender.com.
Or you can just go up to GFA because he's there watching his kids play soccer, or go check him out when he's fishing.
Well, there, yes, for sure.
All right. Hey, Frank, man, we appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Hey, appreciate your time. Thank you.
Guam's auto appearance specialist, Elegant Reflections, has been providing the automotive industry with professional detailing and car care products at its highest quality, from complete detailing, full interior detailing, exterior detailing, headlamp restoration, hand washing, seat and carpet shampoo, engine degreasing, undercarriage cleaning, paint sealant, fabric protection, paint oxidation removal, and so much more. Visit us at our new location. Call 646-5555 for an appointment. Elegant Reflections, Guam's auto appearance specialist, over 20 years of experience.
Sure, there's places Taco Bell's crispy chicken nuggets haven't been, but now the inside of a Crunchwrap slider isn't one of them. The new crispy chicken Crunchwrap slider with creamy chipotle or jalapeno honey mustard inside. A brand new classic, only at Taco Bell.
Weekly Renewal is brought to you by Calvo's Select Care. Half a day, I'm Claire Calvo, bringing you your weekly renewal. Here we are for part 2 at SDA Women's Health Clinic. Welcome back, ladies.
Thank you so much. And of course, your medical history will determine which type of therapy is good for you, because some people with certain types of breast cancer may not be able to take estrogen, for example.
Okay.
Or other medications that you may be taking that may be contraindicated as a complementary to estrogen. If that's the case, then you need to look for alternatives. And of course, there are natural alternatives as well. They're not well studied and they're not regulated, so it's difficult to get something that is efficacious in the natural field. But there are providers who, in lifestyle medicine, for example, who can help you to make sure that you're getting your hormones balanced. Bioidentical hormones you mentioned earlier, unfortunately, to my understanding, are no longer available on Guam. And I don't know about availability in other places around here. It's possible it could be available in the Philippines or Korea or somewhere like that. And so those are other options as well.
Because I did ask recently another doctor, and I was confused because I thought that had to be made in a compound.
That's correct.
Right? But she said that just the regular estradiol patch was considered that as opposed to taking birth control. So, but do you feel like there's a difference, a big difference, if someone, like for instance, takes the estradiol patch as opposed to being it formulated, specifically for you? Do you think that it is much of a difference?
Okay, I thought I heard two separate questions there. One is a difference between estrogen that's used for birth control, which is usually an oral pill, and that goes through your GI system and goes through the liver, and that's where the concern may come for postmenopausal women. However, if you're just doing a transdermal patch, then those concerns are much lower and you don't have to worry about it.
Okay. But would that be considered bioidentical?
No.
Yeah, that's what I thought. No. That's interesting. Okay. So the bioidentical is basically it's compounded down to your specific dosage need, right?
Well, not necessarily dosage. It's just compounded to be, as the name says, similar or identical to the hormones and that are being produced in your body.
Got it.
So, the very first estrogen, Premarin, the name tells you pregnant mares, Premarin. So it was pregnant horses, and they would take estrogen from their urine, Premarin, and that's where they got the estrogen from. And so that's why people are thinking, well, we're not horses, why don't we get estrogens that are more like what our bodies produce, which makes a lot of sense, right?
Yeah.
And so that's where that started.
Oh, thank you. Okay, I had no idea. Thank you for that. Okay, so now if we could talk a little bit about pregnancy and postpartum, because when we had our discussion last week, it was just, we were talking about everything, all the different stages and ages that we go through. And back almost 14 years ago when I gave birth, I did not realize that what I was going through was an actual like baby blues, right? So, at that time you're like, oh, this is the most amazing blessing. I just gave birth. And there's a little sense of guilt when you feel anything but utter joy. How can you, what can you share? How can women deal with those things that they're going through? Not just physically, they're seeing the changes of their body, but also like mentally and emotionally, what they're dealing with.
I think one thing is having the help of family around you. You really need emotional support, both from your husband and from your family members as well. So it's really helpful. The more help you have as far as emotional support and physical support, making sure you have rest, that is so helpful.
Rest, yes.
And what I think for us here at the clinic, we like to bring that topic up sooner, even before they give birth. We talk about postpartum depression already in their second trimester, and then we again mention it in their third. So we make it sure that it's something that they can talk about and not be, like you said, like taboo or don't feel guilty about it. But we're like, no, it's real, it's out there. People have it, please let us know. And I share a little bit what the signs are with them, and they're like, oh, okay. And they haven't given birth yet, but I'm already bringing it up. Say, hey, be aware, it is out. It can happen to you. It might not.
Yeah.
But if it does, please, we're here to help you with it. That's why we encourage them to come at their postpartum appointment, so they can, we'll screen them and all that.
And then I'm sure you also with SDA, there's also someone for them to talk to as well.
Oh yes, we do.
Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.
And thank you all. I will see you next time on your weekly renewal.
Freedom, that's a cheap thing. Freedom to ignore this, that's a cheap thing. Sacrificing facial hair to nature and involuntary blood donations, cheap things. No one signs up for an 800-pound bear chase. But if it happens, cheap thing. VIP parking, exfoliating, treating gravity like a suggestion, saying it'll dry. Free-range parenting, forgetting if that's a moose or an elk, all cheap things. Remembering without saying it, couldn't be more of a cheap thing. Sweating your tail off, freezing your tail off, an American saving another American's tail. Cheap things. Making a cheap vehicle for only people with cash like him? Not a cheap thing. Or confusing capability with unaffordability? No, not a cheap thing. Making adventure affordable? Now that's a cheap thing. So we're bringing you more cheap things this year, because cheap things should be everyone's thing.
Hey guys, it's Shaylee,
Kobe,
and Padme, and for the next 3 months, we're taking you guys on a journey with us. Find your fit.
and to help us are our friends at Sen Harlem, Primal Plate, and Serenity Wellness Spa.
They show you the 3 most important parts of your fitness journey: movement,
nutrition,
and recovery.
This is Sen Harlem, a movement and practitioner space in the heart of Tumuning. The environment is calming and serene. Here, wellness goes beyond the surface. When it comes to movement, it's not just about exercise, it's about connection. Through intentional classes rooted in yoga and mindful practice, Sen Harlem invites you to reconnect with your body, your breath, and your balance. One of the many styles offered is Vinyasa Yoga, a flowing practice that links breath to movement, creating a seamless rhythm from one pose to the next. It builds strength, improves flexibility, and encourages presence in every moment. At Sen Harlem, every session is designed to regulate your breathing, calm the nervous system, and bring harmony between mind and body. For anyone beginning their fitness journey, it's the perfect place to listen to your body and start slow.
For many people, it's hard to stick to meal routines and diets because healthy food sounds boring or plain. Well, at Primal Plate, a subscription-based meal prep service on Guam, they make it easier to stay committed to your health goals without sacrificing taste or variety. Primal Plate offers a wide variety of rotating meals, keeping every bite exciting while helping you maintain balanced, sustainable habits. At the core of every dish is a focus on whole foods, real, minimally processed ingredients that fuel your body the way it's meant to be fueled. It's nutrition that supports your energy, builds strength, and promotes long-term well-being. And the best part? A whole lot of taste. Primal Plate isn't just meal prep. It's a smarter, more enjoyable way to nourish your life.
Movement and nutrition are extremely important in the fitness journey, but it's also important to rest and recover. Here at Serenity Wellness Spa, located in Upper Tumon, it's all about restoring the body after being active. At Serenity Wellness Spa, every treatment is designed with intention. Massage therapy plays a vital role in any wellness routine, helping to relieve stress, support muscle recovery, and restore overall balance in the body. It's the reset that your body needs to keep going strong. Taking care of yourself shouldn't feel like a luxury. It should feel like a lifestyle.
So now that you know what the 3 most important parts of fitness are,
and where to go to start,
it's time to find your fit. Follow us along every Tuesday, perhaps with some special guests, as we get fit with Sen Harlem, Primal Plate, and Serenity Spa.
Find Your Fit is brought to you by Sen Harlem, Serenity Wellness Spa, and Primal Plate.
So my friends, that's gonna do it for another episode of Health, Home, and Lifestyle right here on KUAM. Remember, if you missed any of our episodes, we have everything archived in our playlist on YouTube. It's at youtube.com/KUAM News. I'm Jason Salas, here in the library. We'll see you next time.